Recording. Okay, good evening to everybody. This is Charles Harper, and this is my weekly home business Q&A call. Now, incidentally, those of you who you probably know, I do these calls. I do calls for local business. I also do calls for local consultants. So I do several training calls and several different kind of training calls. So so we will get into this, and this is one of my favorite because people are really open to marketing, and everybody is really open to different ways of trying to get prospects and in what it is that they're going to be doing. Okay, so can everybody see my screen? Can everybody see my my presentation slides? All right, very good. So here's what we want to do tonight. So what I want to do, I'm going to do a brief presentation, very brief, and I kind of want to head off all my remarks with a couple of things, and with two things in particular. Number one, I'm going to be talking a little bit about a book called The Goal, and number two, just a philosophy of mine, which is don't ignore local, just don't do it the old way, right? Because those of us who are involved in home business, I mean, we have moved and we've progressed, and now there's the internet, and so, sometimes we look beyond our local area where we have the most credibility, right? Sometimes we look beyond there. So I want to talk about that tonight. I'm going to take your questions. So what I'd like for you to do is to start putting your questions there in the question box, and I will answer them one by one. Doesn't matter what it is about marketing, whatever your question is. And if I don't know the answer, I will get the answer. Okay, so don't worry if for some reason, and I tend to be able to take about just about everything, and I can handle just about anything you can throw at me. So don't feel like there's a dumb question, because nobody can see your question. And I'm not going to call you out. I'm not going to say, hey John, that was a real dumb question. I'm not going to do that. So don't feel like, oh, I can't ask that. Nobody wants to know that. If you have a question, the only dumb question that you have is the one that doesn't get asked. Okay, so if there are no questions, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover a topic. I'm going to be doing what I call my 10 Commandments of Marketing from Jay Abraham and Richard Johnson, who does the HMA system. I know some of you all have heard of that, and so I'm going to go over that and how that's going to help you in your home business. And then, if there's time, if I can get, if we are just, if I've just talked and we're still, 5 or 10 minutes, we've got 5 or 10 minutes left, I'm going to talk about Facebook in particular. So I'm going to cover some basics on Facebook marketing, and I've actually even got a question here on Facebook. Okay, so now here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start here. I'm going to talk a little bit about a book called The Goal. Okay, so now the first thing you do when you get your MBA is that you have to read this book called The Goal. And it seems like it's universal throughout all your MBA programs. So if you look, you don't have to go buy it. You don't have to go read it now unless you just want to, unless you're interested. Once I finish talking about it, you can go read it. And it is told in a form of story. So it's not written like a business book is typically written. It's told like a story, and it's woven around characters, and the guy is trying to really illustrate a point. How many of you all read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Everybody ever read that Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And do you remember how Robert Kiyosaki illustrated the principles, right? He illustrated the principles in a story. So this is the way this book is too. And so all MBA students are typically required to read this book, and it's told in the form of a story. Yeah, if you haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, I would suggest that you read it. As a matter of fact, Robert Kiyosaki actually feels as if home business is one of the best ways for people who have not been involved in business to get started. Okay, so the goal. So in this story, there's this guy who runs a factory, he runs a plant, and the plant was losing money. Right? And the plant was losing money. Nobody could figure out why. Right? They were good at what they did. They produced quality products, but for some reason, this plant was still losing money. And so what happened was this guru comes to him, right? So this guru comes to the plant. He hires this guru, and the guru's trying to get him to refocus. The guru's trying to get him to change the way he's doing business. And so the guru starts asking questions. And basically he asks Alex over and over throughout the book, what is the goal, right? What is the goal? And so what's the purpose of that? In other words, the point of the book is that bad or incomplete goals will cause a bottleneck and will cause you to focus on stuff that won't get you what you want, right? And so what you have to do in a home business, in any internet marketing venture that you're in, what is the goal, right? What is the goal, right? The goal ultimately is passive income that works when you're not working, right? That's the goal. So you have to focus over and over on what the goal is. And you have to ask yourself, and you've got to think about what you're doing every day and whether or not it contributes to the goal. And I'm going to tell you what that means here. Okay, your goal is not getting as many people as you can into Ingreso. Believe it or not. That's not the goal. It's getting the right people involved in Ingreso, because those are going to be the people who are going to build the business and help you to get passive income, right? The goal is not to keep them in Ingreso and keep them spending money, right? That's not your goal. Your goal is not to convince them to keep paying, right? Your goal is to get them making money. Do you understand the difference, right? So your goal is not to get them in and keep them in, right? That's the wrong focus. And if you start focusing on the wrong goal, you get the wrong results. Your goal is to get them making money. And that's why one of the things that I have been saying from the beginning is that you have to know, and you've got to learn not only how to make money for yourself, but you've got to learn also for the sake of your team and getting them involved in resources that are going to help them make money. If you focus on getting them in and keeping them in, then that's not going to get you passive income. Your goal in Ingreso is not getting the most people in. Don't focus on that. Your goal is to get these people making money, and then that will make you money and give you passive income. If you don't focus on that, right, and you start creating other goals, you are going to create a bottleneck because your focus is wrong. It's cool to have a lot of people, but if those people are not making money on their own, if you've got the wrong people that don't want to make any money, that aren't going to get after it, that don't want to train, that you can't train, that don't want to learn, then your focus will eventually peter out in 3 months. How many of you all know that the average person stays in a membership 3.5 months? How many of you all have heard that? That is the average. The average is 78 days. That's how long people stay in a membership. And so if you just get somebody, you'll have them for 3.5 months, but what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to go and get 3 more. You're going to have to get 1 more person to stay another 3.5 months. You got to get people, and you got to train them, and you got to help them to make money, and you got to get them in front of people that can help them make money so that they stay for the right reasons, because if they stay for the right reasons, they're making money, then they're going to make you money without you having to do anything. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's why I wanted to start with, what is the goal? Every day you're working this business, you have to wake up and start thinking about, what is the goal? Why am I here? What am I trying to do? What am I focusing on? Right? It's not just to help people. Right? All of us want to help people. Right? All of us want to do right by our family. That's cool. Your goal is to build a passive income that will allow you the freedom to do what you want to do and help people, right? So you have permission, and you're going to hear Dwayne talk about this a lot on this call, if he hasn't already on his call. You don't need permission to be an entrepreneur. You already have permission. You have permission to do what it takes to accomplish the goal. Your goal is not, right? Your goal is not just to get leads. Right? That's part of a goal. That can create a bottleneck, because you can focus all day long on getting leads. That's not your goal. Your goal is passive income. That is your focus. And you put things in place to get passive income. And some of you all, quite frankly, some of you all have resources And you shouldn't be messing around trying to put up capture pages. You need to just hire some kid in college to put it up for you and pay the $15 to them, right? They're typically broke. And so they'll do it. You need to hire somebody to do some of this stuff that you're trying to figure out how to do and focus on what? The goal. The goal. Okay, so here's what you got to do. You got to learn the basics and you build a list how you build a list. There isn't any one way to build a list. I'm going to tell you that. There are lots of ways that other people have built their list, but you got to build a list and you got to build it how you build it. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you about the goal. And I don't want you to use this as an example because I don't want you to do I don't want you to do this. How many of y'all heard of Fred Smith of FedEx? How many of y'all know the chairman? You heard of Fred Smith, right? And you might have even heard this story, right? Fred Smith of FedEx did what? When his company was on the fringe, you know what he did? He took the payroll money and he went to Vegas, right? Because he had to make payroll. He took the cash in the company, went to Vegas, okay, bumped it up. I think he doubled or tripled his money, came back and made payroll. Now, I'm not telling you you need to go to Vegas, right, in order to do you. But your goal is not, right? The point is that he focused on the goal, which was keeping his company afloat. Okay, so I'm going to start now with your questions. Okay, that makes sense to everybody. The goal. Okay, now, Natalia asks, okay, when you've just started, what should you post on Facebook to promote your business? Okay, what should you post on Facebook to promote your business? Okay, so we're going to talk about two things right now in terms of Facebook. Now, one of the first things that you're going to need to do is you are going to want to get a philosophy about social media, and in particular, Facebook. Facebook, when you are dealing with your personal profile, right, and your friends, right, only you know your friends and the people you have on your page, but in general, right, the ratio is 3-to-1. So you should be posting 3 helpful things, right, 3 helpful things, inspirational things, and things that are going to really help people in their lives, and 1 promotional thing. So every 3 to 4 posts, right, I'm going to say 4-to-1. I think you should be posting 4 helpful things to people in their lives first. That can be inspirational. That can be, hey, I read this article. Hey, here's it. But, you know, what I would say in terms of building their business, the very best thing you can do, Natalia, the very best thing you can do is to teach them something that is going to help them make money. Right? And the best thing that I can tell you to do is to create a video, a tutorial video on something that somebody who wants to make more money learns how to do. Now, let me ask those of you who are on this call a question. When somebody is advertising their business and you get that post on your Facebook wall, what do? Most of us ignore it. Is that true? Yeah, most of us ignore those posts. And so you don't want to make yourself that person that becomes, oh my God, here comes John again. He's posting on this stuff again. Oh God, it's this guy all the time. You know, don't be that person, right? Not because you're not really wanting to help people, but because it doesn't resonate. When we advertise in social media, right? It turns people off. Some people may respond, but by and large, if you put 3 hours of doing that in social media, it's not going to give you the return on your time. I would suggest that you find something that people who want to make more money need to learn how to do and teach them that. And you put that in video form and post that. And what you say at the end of your video, oh, by the way, yes, I teach, yeah, by the way, I use WordPress, but this is what I use it for. And you send them the link inside of the video, or you put the link in your video description. So in other words, you attract them in, by teaching them something they want to know. If you decide you're going to teach something on WordPress, then you're going to attract people who want to build a blog, and they're going to watch your video. And when you watch your video, then at the end of that video, you tell them, hey, this is why I'm building my blog. Why are you building yours? And you send them to a link where you tell them about your business, right? You got to draw them in first, and you got to help them, and people are going to be more receptive and read your stuff when you're helping. That is how I would answer your question, Natalia. Does that help you? Okay, does everybody else get what I said? Okay, does everybody else get what I said? Does that make sense to you? All right, very good. Okay, next question. Okay, so one of the people who have signed up for the coaching, right, got access to all of the content, and they want to know, are the files, is it best to learn them one at a time, or is it best to kind of learn one and teach? Or in other words, should she learn the whole thing? Should she learn everything about WordPress, or should she learn one thing at a time and teach it? Right? That's a great question. And so here's what I would say to you. I would say that if you are a fast learner, if you're the kind of person that you're going to go through all of the WordPress videos in like one night and you're just going to learn it, right, then I would say then that's going to be helpful. But if you're the kind of person that it's, you know, you're going to say, well, I'm going to watch this one today, I'm going to watch this one on Thursday, I'm going to watch this one next week, I'm going to say that you learn one concept and teach it, right? How many of you all have teaching your downline? Yeah, and I know some of you don't have a downline, right? But that's okay. As I have said on the call, the way you're going to get a downline is you're going to attract somebody by teaching. So some of you all have digital products, right? How many of you all have cracked open your digital products inside of Ingreso? Okay, not too many of you. Okay, some of you, but not too many of you. Here's what you need to do. Crack them open. Learn one thing. When you get off this call tonight, now I know those of you all who are working in home business, I know you don't go to bed at midnight. I know it's 3 or 4 in the morning. Some of you all, it's 2 or 3, 4 in the morning, and you're still awake working on this stuff. So don't tell me that you can't stay up and do a video. I know what I'm asking you to do. It's a little much, right? Like on top of everything else you did, you know, some of you all went to work, then you came home, you worked your business, you came to this webinar, and now, Charles, you're telling me you want me to create a video tonight? Yes, I am. Right? Yes, I am. You get off this call, find something you can teach, put it in a video, and put it on YouTube. Put your YouTube link on Facebook. Teach people something. Right? Don't ask for anything. You don't have to ask them for anything. Hey, you know what? I'm going to teach you how to, how to sell an ebook. Right? And you don't have to tell people, I just learned it. Right? You don't tell people that. Well, I just learned this. No. What you do is you teach it like an authority. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So the answer to your question is, depending on your personality, if you're going to get in there and you're going to learn the whole WordPress process in a day, right? If you're going to sit down and you're going to get it, right? You just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to learn this tonight. I'm going to watch all 24 videos. Yeah, it might take you an hour or two to do that, right? You might say tomorrow, okay, you know what? I get home from work. It's me and WordPress. I'm going to watch all these videos. Then you're the kind of person then that should watch the whole thing and then start teaching the concepts one by one. But if your personality is such that your brain's on overload after one video, right? Do the one video and teach that. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, that's a great question. Great question. Right? So yeah, so for those of you who are in the coaching program, what you're going to do is you are going to take either, I mean, this week's concept is WordPress. Next week's is Facebook. So when you get to the Facebook unit, right, you get your stuff in Facebook, you learn it and teach it, or just take one thing at a time and start teaching it. Okay, Beverly has a good question here. Okay, what do you say to somebody who has no computer understanding and they don't even know how to unzip files? Great question. You know what I would do? Here's what I would do, right? And I've done this, right? I'll create a video on how to unzip files. You'd be surprised how many people just need a little teaching on how to create a video. How many of you all have the software, know where you can get the software to create screencast videos? Now, I talked about this in the coaching last night, but I'm going to give this to you right now. I'm going to give you the link here. It's called Screencast O-Matic. Okay, I think it's $15 every year. Okay, it's $15 a year, and you can get that, and you can start creating screencast videos. Right? It's very easy. And what you do is you just demonstrate the process of unzipping a file. That's not going to resonate with everybody. Some people are going to say, you know what, I knew that already. But some people are going to say, you know what, some people are going to come to you, some people are going to come to you on the side. They're going to say, man, you know what, I really appreciate you showing me that because I didn't know how to do it. Right? So whatever you think somebody really does not know how to do, create a video, because that person is not going to be the only person that doesn't know that. Right? That is what I would do. That's a great question. I appreciate that, Beverly. Okay, so let me see. Let me scroll up here. Find another question. Okay, as you have questions, folks, just put them in the question box. I'm going to take them one by one. Okay, so Cheryl asked, do you feel like tagging your affiliate in your post about how your business has been successful is okay? Okay, and I asked because I've lost potential associates due to somebody doing this over and over on my page. Okay, yeah, that's a great question. You know, tagging is, yeah, and here's what happened, right? And I'm going to give you my opinion on this. Now, you know, my opinion is going to be mine. There are going to be other marketers who disagree with me because they've had success doing this. What you want to do, to me, is you want to be real as you can. Because if you start relying on tactics, all somebody has to do is change the tactics. So in other words, if Facebook ever changed how tagging works, that's going to work differently. So what I would do, Cheryl, there are two parts to your question. One thing is you can't control whether somebody else tags you, right? So that part you're not going to be able to control. And so I guess what you want to know is, should you be teaching your affiliates this? Should you be teaching your associates this? And I would say no. What I would say is I come back to really getting people in a position where you show them how to make money, and that you have. Now, if you're going to tag somebody, you tag them in their own best interest. I have not found tagging people to say, you know how cool I am. Look at how cool I am. This is what I'm doing. Now, I'm going to say personally, I've seen this turn people off. And I think that's what you're saying, which is when somebody gets you on social media and they start tagging you, right, to talk about how cool they are, it's a turnoff. So I do not do that. And I would say that this is something that you generally do not want to rely on. Sometimes it's going to make sense to do, but you don't rely on it, and you don't walk in every day like, I'm going to tag I'm going to tag everybody and their mother and tell them in a post about how cool I am. Right? that's not even, that's going to just run people off. And so I'm going to say you want to, yeah, and I'm and here and I am getting comments from everybody on the call, right? Who are saying, one person says, I'm not going to mention her name, says tagging makes them mad, right? More than anything else. And I'm getting comments from people like that. So yeah, you're right on, Cheryl, right? So you can see that even the people who are on the call are not, they're not, these are associates, right, who are on this call, and they don't like it, right? So the people who are working the business, that's not cool to them. I know people do it, and you might get a prospect or two. I don't know if you're going to get the kind of person. See, I come back to this. Here's what I come back to. What is the goal? Is your goal to get every human being that has a pulse into your business? No, it's not. You want to get people, you want to attract people who are the kind of people who are focused, who already want to make money. So you want to put so if you put bait out there based on how cool you are, that's the kind of person you're going to attract. Now, that's not the law of attraction. That's just the way it works, right? If you put bait out there based on, well, you know what, I'm really, so basically they're going to come based on your personality. So you know what's going to happen when your personality makes them mad? They're going to go find somebody else's personality. They're not going to make you money in the long run. You got to get people who are going to make you money in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, who are going to stick with it. So you got to start putting bait out there to attract people who are like, you know what, man, I like this person. She's showing me how to do this to make money. So I'm saying start putting bait out there, that will help people to make money. So that's a great question, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Let's see. Okay, so Matt's question is about digital products. Great question. It says, now, when we get into the business, don't we get access to all the digital products that others would have to pay for them? And if so, does that necessarily work? Okay, so one of the things I did in the training or in the coaching last night is when you get a digital product, the first thing you want to do is you want to check out the rights you have. Now, if you have the rights to give it away, or the rights to resell it, or the rights to redo it, you want to use that digital product in a way that's going to make you the most money. Now, in some cases, you open your digital product and you use it as education. You learn from it. In some cases, you open your digital product and you use it to become an authority. You teach it. In some cases, you open your digital product to use it as bait. You attract people. In some cases, you open your digital product and get it ready for sale to make money. Those are the 4 things you're going to do with it. Most, if not all of the time, right, other people are going to be spreading those products around. Now, I'm going to tell you how most people are not going to use that digital product. You want to check out the rights you have, and in some cases, you want to get 2 or 3, combine it into a brand new product, right? A brand new product, get 2 or 3 products that have private label rights, and turn it into a brand new product. You get all your Facebook products, and you call it, I don't know, call it Facebook University. And Facebook University is going to be on sale today for $17, or it's going to be on sale today for $3. And here's what Facebook University is going to cover. It's going to cover, whatever your 3 products are. Or you can do, hey, today I'm going to be putting on sale Twitter University. Now, people are going to say, well, what is Twitter University? I've never heard of that. Well, really, it's because what you did was you took your digital rights, you looked at the rights, and you saw that you have the rights to change it. So you change your digital rights into something you can sell, and you make it unique. Now, this is going to be a bonus. I'm going to tell y'all how to make it universal. Right? How many of you all want to know how to take a digital product and make it into something cool? as opposed to what everybody else is saying. It's going to be so easy, you're going to wonder. Okay, you ready? Okay, here's what you do. You go on Amazon.com, right? And you go into the Kindle book section, right? And you put in Facebook. And you find all the people who are writing books on Facebook. And guess what? Somebody who wrote a book on Facebook, guess what they all have? Websites. Guess what they want? More people to buy their book. So guess what you're going to do? Does anybody know? So you're going to get those authors, and you know what they're going to do for you? They're going to do an interview because you're going to publicize them, right? So you're going to put an interview with that author inside of your digital product. And when you sell your digital product, you're going to say, hey, this is going to be Facebook University, and I've got 2 experts on Facebook. The authors of Facebook, blah, 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 where you can get on Amazon. The other is an author of the book, Facebook, blah, 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 right? And so you've got these 2 experts. You've got 3 digital products that you got from Ingreso. You've turned it into a new product, and now your product is what? Cooler and more cool than everybody else, and it's worth buying now. So now when you put that product out there, right, they're not just getting an ebook, are they? And totally unique, right? Totally unique. They're not just getting an ebook. They're getting something really cool. So look, ladies and gentlemen, you are an entrepreneur, right? You are an entrepreneur. Your job, what is the goal? What is the goal? The goal is passive income from Ingreso, right? And you got to invite people in. One of the reasons why you sell digital products is because if somebody buys something and they're willing to buy a digital product and they're willing to pay $7, $8, $9, $10, that's a prospect. Because they are buying something that's going to show them how to make more money, that means that that's a prospect. So that's why you sell these low-end products. You sell them cheap. You sell them less than what they pay if they were going to pay an Ingreso. Now you might say, well, I can't make money that way. Well, some of this is you sell it as a lead generator. You don't have to always give your products away because you want to weed out the people who just want stuff for free. Does that make sense? You have to weed out the people that just want stuff for free. You want to find people who are going to buy stuff because they want to make money. And when you sell to those people, that's the person, you get their phone number and you tell them what you're doing, one-to-one. Now, can I ask you a question? Now, I know that, so if you get all over the place, yeah, no, that's right. Okay, great. Okay, so follow-up question for Matt. How do we actually set up a new price for the digital product you want to sell? Right? Well, now this is going to be a little more advanced, Matt, but you can do it. Now, Matt, let me ask you a question. Now, everybody on this call, this question is for you too, but I'm asking you this specifically. Matt, do you know how to do HTML? Do you know how to change web pages? Do you know how to edit web pages? Okay, Matt, do you know? Okay, so you know how to edit web pages. Excellent. Enough to get by. Excellent. So guess who sets the price for your products? You set the price, right? You set the price. So if your question is how do I decide on what the price is? You decide on what the price is based on two things. Number one, what is your goal? Number two, what is the value you're giving? So if you're giving an ebook and some videos, I'm going to say people can get that anywhere. But if you make it unique, right? Like if you went and got, let's say that you were in an airport and you met Amy Porterfield. And you were there with Amy Porterfield and she's waiting for her plane. You say, hey, let's talk about Facebook. And, and while you're at it, I'm going to pull out my iPhone and I'm going to record you. And you get this awesome recording from this Facebook goddess, right? And you put that inside of your product, that product just went up by 10 times. That's value, right? Because people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to sit with Amy Porterfield, right? But you don't have to get Amy Porterfield, right? You can just get somebody who knows Facebook, who's got a book published, who has their own product, right? And put that and increase the value. So it's only going to take you an hour, right, to do an interview with them. Let them promote their book, let them promote their product, and then you create a unique product and you sell it for what you want. Now, here's the deal. Some of your products you should be using, as I just said, you should be using some of your products as low-end, right, ways of weeding out the tire kickers, right? You weed out the tire kickers. You weed out the freebie seekers. Because if you start giving this stuff away all the time, right, if that's all you ever do, then the people you're going to have on your list, you know what they're going to be? They're going to be the people who like getting free digital products. And they are out there. Right? There's some people who like to go get free digital products. And you don't want to attract all of them. You want your list to be, some of your list to be people who are serious about making money. So you decide what the price is based on, number one, your goal, number two, the value that you're putting in. Right? Does that make sense? Okay, everybody, did you get that? Does that make sense to you, what I just said? Okay, excellent. Okay, sort of. Okay, so Matt, give me a follow-up question. I'm going to go to the next question, and then I want you to give me a follow-up. Okay, so I'm going to go, let me see, who else do I have here that has a question? I'm going to scroll through here. Okay, I did that one. Let me see. Okay, so okay, so we're about at I think we're actually at 43 minutes. Okay, so okay, so here's Matt's follow-up question. Okay, so all right, so a little mixed up on how I would make a unique digital product. I could do that, but I would need to put it on my website or get a new domain name or from somewhere else. Actually, okay, go. I get you. Okay, no, what you don't want to do is you don't want to complicate things. So yeah, okay, I see. I might be confusing you and I might be making your life more complicated, and that's not what I want to do. You want to make this easy, right? So all you're going to do is just add something to it, right? If you want to call it something different, you don't have to, but you can sell a digital product anywhere. Now, you can use the sales page with the digital product, or you can sell it from your blog. Now, what you can do on your blog is you can write the copy however you want to, right? And give them the link that sends them to actually get the product. So when you create a unique digital product, you don't have to go get a new domain name. As a matter of fact, don't spend money on another domain name, right? Use the one domain you have. Don't go buying anything. Number two, if you're not that good at changing HTML pages, don't mess around with that stuff. The way you can sell a digital product very easily is from a blog where you write the copy and you start sending traffic to your blog page. And on the blog page, you make the pitch about the product. They click the buy button, and when they buy that product, your link delivers the product to them. So you don't have to do a new page. You don't have to get a new domain name. Okay, Darlene's question is it really important to have a business page in addition to your personal fan book page? Great question. Okay, here's what I would say. I personally have one, and there is a reason for that. is because how many of you all have been in home business longer than 3 years? All right, so here's what happens in home business, and we know that. Sometimes something just all of a sudden gets less popular, right? And if it gets less popular and people stop feeling it, you still want people to associate themselves with who? Who is your business? Is your business Ingreso? Right? Your business is you. Right? Ingreso is a product. It's a fantastic product. It's a fantastic opportunity. But when you start building people into your marketing funnel and you get people on your list, that is your business, and you have to run it like you are the person. That's why I'm saying to you folks, that's what I'm saying to you guys, you have to be the authority. You have to be the one to do the teaching. You have to take them by the hand and walk them into the promised land. You do that. It's you. So I would say that you should have a place where you do your, now here's the other thing. And here's what I always do, and this is a rule of thumb with me, right? You can take this and you can use it any way you like. I always look at the people who are running the thing, right? So one thing you can do is I want you to start taking a look at what Dwayne Golden is doing. What else does he have? He's got a website. He's got a Facebook page. That doesn't mean you have to do it in order to do Ingreso, but that's a clue that a web page is important. Okay? Okay, great question from Morissette. Do we need to have a Facebook fan page? What purpose does that serve? Great question. A Facebook fan page is a place where you can keep all your business in one place, right? In one place, so that the people who are interested in the stuff you're talking about in business can get your posts without you having to post it on your personal page all the time. Probably, your friends and stuff, you may not want your business partners talking to your people on your personal page. You may not want them. So it's a way of separating things and keeping things so that you can talk business in one place. Now, I've got a question from one person who's not on the call, and his question was, he's got a business, and so he wants to keep his daytime business separate from his Ingreso business. So the question is, does he need to have a fan page? Well, a fan page actually attracts people on Facebook to a business or a brand. So in that sense, yes, because you can put your personal brand of Ingreso, and you can attract people to that personal brand through that fan page that are not going to be attracted to you personally, right? So it's a way of keeping the business area on Facebook located in a place where people know, where they can talk to you about that business. Okay, great question, Morissette. All right, Matt. Oh yeah, right on. So Matt, yeah. I mean, Matt's basic question here is, I probably need to get a blog going. A blog is your home base, right? A blog is about you, right? It's about you. So in other words, when you decide to personalize the business, right, it's you. And so how many of you all have ever worked with someone and then they decided, hey, you know what, the new opportunity is actually in this opportunity now. I'm leaving this one and I'm going over to there. They're doing that through their own personal authority and their business. So in other words, they're saying, follow me, right? I showed you how to get success here. I'm going to now show you how to get success over there. So when you become the authority, yes, you need your own site, you need your own blog. Now you don't have to spend all day working on it. You don't have to spend your whole life. You focus on Ingreso, but you are the entrepreneur. The business is you, right? People are not going to sign up with Ingreso just because it's cool. They're going to sign up for it because of you, right? Okay, great question from Morissette. So what if you are in a couple of businesses, you make a fan page for each of them, not both on one page? Great question. In some cases, I would say that you don't want to confuse people, right? So as they say, a confused mind doesn't buy. So if you're going to be talking about Ingreso on your, on your, I don't know, whatever page, on a page for a different business, that's going to confuse people because they're going to get those posts, right? And they're going to say, well, she's sort of in this thing, and she's sort of in that thing. I don't know what she's talking about. So I like to keep things separate when it comes to fan pages. I know some people, they have one page where it's like they do things and they say, this is about Charles Harper, and I'm going to show you how to make money. And I'm going to do this in several ways. I'm going to show you how to do this in this business. I'm going to show you how to do that business. When your fan page is about you, then you can do multiple businesses on one page. When your business is more focused on different ones, then yes, you're going to want to do separate fan pages. That's hard to manage, though. It takes a lot of time. Okay, great question. So I would say, in the long run, Morissette, it's got to be about you, right? And you showing people how to make money, and you doing that in different ways. So then the fan page is not, and you'll see this with a lot of top leaders, it's not, Jack Bauer's, Ingreso page. It's Jack Bauer home business, right? And so when it's that, then you can do multiple things. All right, great question. Okay, so Beverly's question is, how do you get a recorded session of what you missed and what you want to? Okay, Beverly. So for the coaching, right, Beverly, I'm going to be putting that in the members area, and I'm going to send you an email just to the people who are in the coaching. So you'll get an email as soon as I'm posting. Right now, as we speak, on my second computer, as we're talking right now, it is rendering a video of last night's session that I'll be posting inside the members area. So you'll get an email about that, and I'll say, everybody who's in Attraction Explosion Coaching, the webinar is posted. So last night's webinar that I did for you all, I'll be posting. It's rendering right now. Great question. Okay, Darlene's question. Do I ever post business on my personal account? Yes, all the time. I follow the jab, 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 right hook, though. Right? Most of the time, I'm talking about personal stuff. Right? So 3 posts, I'll be helping people. 3 posts, I'll be talking about something funny. 3 posts, I'll be talking about something, social. And the 4th post, I'll say, hey, here's something cool I'm doing. Check it out. Right? So I keep that ratio at least 4 to 1, 3 or 4 to 1. And yes, I'll post business on my personal account. I do not go tagging people, though. Right? I don't do that on my personal page. I do post business. And when I post it, though, it's in context, because I'm always teaching, I'm always helping people. Does that make sense, Darlene? Okay, so it is now 11:25. Okay, I've held you longer than I want. I'm going to skip down here to the end here of my presentation. I didn't get through everything I wanted to. If you would like these slides, I will get you. I really wanted to get through. Okay, let me go through this real quick. I'm going to go through this. I think this will really help you. Okay, these are my 10 commandments of marketing. Whether you're in home business, local marketing, and this is really for my friend who sent me a question. I didn't have time. We'll talk about your question by email. Okay, so here are my 10 commandments. Number one, you got to have a unique selling proposition. So in other words, you need to be able to answer the question why I should do business with you over and above every other place where I can get the same thing. A unique selling proposition. I'm not talking about a tagline. I'm not talking about an advertising line. I'm talking about a unique selling proposition. What makes your business different? And what makes your business different must benefit me, right? It must benefit me, your customer. So the unique selling proposition must benefit me. You need to have a unique selling proposition about your business. That's number one. Number two, exponential marketing. You need to be doing upsells, cross-sells, back-end sales. In other words, when somebody buys from you the first time, right? When somebody buys your digital product, you need to make sure you have an upsell there. You know why? Because they already got their credit card out. Right? If you're going to make money in this business or any business, right? What do they say at McDonald's? Do you want fries with that? You have to have something where when I buy from you, you have something that automatically asks me, Charles, do you want fries with that? When you go to Best Buy or now even Walmart and you buy electronics, what do you get automatically at the register? You get an offer to buy what? Insurance. You got to have upsells, cross-sells, back-end sales, because you can't just rely on somebody coming in your front door and buying your stuff. Right? So that's exponential marketing. Got to have that. Number three, database marketing. We already talked about that. Money's in the list. You already know that. Got to have that. Number four, strategic marketing. Now, if you're not doing a joint venture, with all the associates that you have, and all the people that are, now, you need to have a list, right? You need to build a list, but as soon as you get a list, you need to start doing joint ventures, right? That's how you grow your list. You grow your list with joint ventures. And when you start doing joint ventures, right, you start working with people who benefit from working with you who are not in competition with you. And you start doing stuff for them, and they start doing stuff for you. You start doing things together. You got to be doing joint ventures if you want to grow your business fast. Number four, media. Now, I'm going to tell you this just straight up. It's expensive, but TV still works, right? It works. Radio still works. It's expensive as heck. And I cannot say that I know how to do it with home business. I'll be honest with you. There are people who do it, and they'll tell you that when they do it, it works. But here, I'm going to give you a secret right now, right? When it comes to radio and television, right, you may or may not have known this, but now you can go Google it, right? And it might be something that's advanced, right? This might be something for later on down the line, right? It may not be for right now. But media still works. Television, radio, newspapers still works. They may not necessarily always have to have money to give you advertising space. How many of you all knew that? Radio, television, and radio, television, and newspapers love barter. They love it. They love it. That's all I'll tell you because I don't have time to get into this, but they love barter. They love it. And if you don't have money, you don't have to have money in cash all the time. They love barter. So that's just to put a little bug in your ear. Okay. Community marketing. So let's say you can't be like McDonald's. So you don't have the money to do a branding campaign. You don't have money to advertise just to try to get people to feel a certain way. But guess what you can do? Right? You can sponsor people. You can do sponsoring in your local area. You can be doing webinars. You can be doing local stuff. You can be doing local charities. And when you do that and your business name shows up for doing local charity, that's branding. So you don't have to have branding, like a big branding campaign, right? If you're not branding your business in your local area, you're missing an opportunity, right? If you're not sponsoring that Little League team as a business owner, right? Now, I know a lot of people who say, boy, I wish people would say the home business is legitimate. Well, you have to do legitimate stuff. Legitimate business give to charity. Legitimate businesses sponsor stuff. Legitimate businesses hold talks. Legitimate businesses do things for the public interest. Community marketing works because it's always worked, and you become legitimate and people will take note of you. Okay, community marketing. Okay, internet marketing. That's all the stuff you're learning today. And that's what you're learning how to do, internet marketing. Notice how internet marketing is one of the 10 commandments. It's only one of them. So you start talking about, well, you know what, I wish I had more ways to market your business. Ton of ways to market your business. Right? Ton of ways to get the word out about your business and about how cool you are, how cool Ingreso is. Internet marketing. New media marketing, which is what I've been talking to you about. Educate people. Do webinars. Do hangouts. Write articles. Right? Educate people. Right? New media. Information products. Create your own information products. Lastly, okay, and I won't talk about this because I don't want you to distract you with this, but, you know, writing a book on Kindle is so easy. It's so easy. If you haven't done it, I'm going to tell you something, you're missing something. And that's what I'll just say about that. Okay, but that we won't spend a lot of time for this. Okay, so, okay, here's the, I'm going to put these links in your box here. The stuff you need to get. Okay, first is the individual coaching program. I'm just going to say, at the price where it's awesome, and I'll tell you why I'm doing it at this price. Okay, but you need to get that coaching program. It'll help you. I'll just tell you that. Okay, whatever I've shared with you tonight, the people inside the coaching program are going to get 10 times that. Okay, so that's the link I just sent you. Okay, make sure you're signed up for my mailing list where I do videos. I'm going to send you that link. Okay, that's the second link. You can follow my YouTube channel. Okay, this YouTube channel, I have a goal for it. This is going to be the largest source of marketing information for the largest free source of marketing information in the world. That's my goal with that channel. Okay, and then lastly, if you have more money than you have time, right? You have more money, you have time, and you just want somebody to do some of this stuff for you. You just want somebody to put up your blog. You want somebody to put up your YouTube channel. You want somebody to put up your fan page. And you got some money to work with. You call us, right? And that's what my team does. My team will put that stuff up for you so you're not fumbling around with this. And you're getting ready, and you're putting yourself in position, and you're out trying to hustle your business, right? Don't let the technical stuff keep you from getting this stuff done, right? You can get my team to do it, and then it'll be done. Some of you all are still working on a blog, and you've been working on a blog for a month, right? And you got some money in your pocket. Put that money toward, let my team do that for you. Okay, so that's it. So once again, the first link I gave you was coaching. Second link, daily training. Third link was my YouTube channel. Fourth link is our Done For You website. Okay, so with that, was this helpful for anybody? Okay, did this help you? Okay, great. Glad it did. Okay, everybody. So with that, thank you very much. Now, if you are you are on the Ingreso call on Saturday, I will see you on Saturday. If you are in the coaching program, I will see you next Wednesday. And make sure you're on this call next Wednesday night, late night. Thanks, and have a great day.